Hello, I'm Steph.
And I'm Joel.
And welcome to Framed
Canvas Cuffs.
and Other Stuffs.
Season 2, baby.
Woo!
We're back. We're back. Can you believe it?
Bolly ado.
Olé adieu.
Ugh.
Enjoy the episode.
Someone left their giant dog shit on our front thing, and I was like,
Who doesn't pick it up? That's
someone
so
left
fucking
it in
rude.
the driveway on the pavement once. And I went, you're a dog.
Oh my God. I would come out and start screaming.
If we'd seen them, I would have pick up after your dog.
I stepped in dog shit on New Year's Day. And
Oh. 1, 2, 3.
fill up my drink. Mazel tov. Let's just become a Black Eyed Peas podcast. The Black Eyed Podcast.
Can we
Discuss
talk about
all their errors.
the Black Eyed Peas? The fans are called Peabodys.
No.
Yes,
Really?
Peabodys. Like it's spelt Peabody, like a Peabody Award. Like, why are you called a Peabody?
Oh my God. Well, that means I used to be a Peabody. I was so into the Black Eyed Peas. They used to be kind of more indie-centric.
Yeah.
Do you remember like when they had that like, this is a request, Mr.
Yeah,
Radio Man? They were kind of...
They were a bit cooler before they went
And then they
AI.
went like, they were like, oh, let's be futuristic. And then they've stuck with that for the rest of their...
said, let's do the Transformers soundtrack, and
Yeah.
they never looked back.
No. They're obsessed with futurism. There's a song that they released recently with like Shakira or something.
Shakira, done for tax free.
Really?
$15 million. I know. Shakira, you can't afford that, can you?
She had lying hips after all.
She did.
Oh my God.
Her hips did lie.
Slide.
Anyway, back to the Black Eyed Peas.
Back to the Black Eyed Peas. Yeah, they released a song recently and it's still all futuristic, robot-y. Like they just love it.
They love it. Will I Am. He
stuff.
can't get enough of the stuff.
Yeah.
He said, put
I
me
wanna
in the
scream.
Oh, when they did that with Britney.
When you hear this in the club. Why was she British?
Because it wasn't her. It was just probably AI. And they were just like, this is Britney, yes.
Turn the
of course.
shit up.
Oh. I'm gonna do that. Why was she British?
Odd choice.
Because she was so high.
Yeah.
She didn't know
no.
what day it was.
Oh, Brittany.
Oh, dear.
It just
She'll never
so much
recover.
concern for her.
She'll never recover. And it's sad. But God,
I'm glad she's free, but
I was listening to
I'm
some of
still
her
just
stuff.
like, ooh.
And like Circus and like Blackout.
Blackout. Amazing.
What a time. We'll never have music like that.
Well, no.
hang on.
We are. Tate McRae. Have you heard of her?
Yes.
So she's releasing music now. Like she released a song only a couple of days ago called Sports Car.
Oh.
Sounds like it could have been straight out of the Blackout album.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that style of like almost like Timberland R&B pop is kind of coming back, which I'm so happy about because
Yes.
I'm getting a bit sick of like sad pop.
I was going to say, I'm getting a bit sick of all these people we used to listen to that are now going to jail, so we can't listen to their music anymore.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I want pop to be like sexy and, a bit more fun again.
Like, it's okay to have the Robin every now and then, but we don't need Robin
Yes.
24/7.
No. Yeah. That kind of music I don't want for a while.
Yeah. We'll just, surely. I
Yeah.
mean, what's happening in America? Bring us some hits.
Oh, God.
You need to dance, guys. Dance like no one's watching.
So anyway, that's been our podcast. Thank you for listening.
Hello. Goodbye.
How are you, babe?
Good. Just, sitting here with Kenzo,
Yes.
the happy little baby. What are you going to recommend to the people this week?
Oh, have you been watching Traders?
No, but we are starting tomorrow night.
I've decided now that Traders is probably my favorite reality show of all time.
Yep.
It is so good.
Yeah.
Specifically the UK one.
Oh, you know what? Have not watched UK yet.
Okay, I would recommend
Yep.
before you start watching the current US one with all the celebrities like
Yep.
Bob the Drag Queen and all that kind of stuff, start UK season 1.
Yep.
Because then by the time that you've finished those seasons, every episode of this current US season will be out. So you can just jump straight into it.
Love that.
The UK version is top tier. For anyone who doesn't know, Traitors is like a murder mystery reality show. Bunch of people all in this castle, all doing challenges to get money or bars of gold they have in the
blooms
as the prize. But then the host of the show picks 3 traitors. And there's a round table after every episode where the faithfuls, the ones who aren't the traitors, have to try and weed out who the traitors are. And the traitors' job is essentially for them not to get voted out, because if there is one traitor left at the end of the show, they get all the money.
Which is...
If there's 2 traitors left, they split the money. None of the faithfuls get anything.
Yeah.
So it's the faithfuls' job to get rid of the traitors. And it's so delicious.
The only thing I will say is, and this is just from the seasons that I've watched, is that there's not enough like giveaways. Like there's not enough tasks for the traitors to have to perform in order for the people around them to work out who the traitor is. So like, you know, in the mole would have a side quest when they were doing the main task to try and sabotage to add to their kitty.
Well, so so with the traders, they're all trying to raise as much money as possible. The trader's job isn't to necessarily divert and to stop them making money. But because then that makes it a bit too obvious.
Yeah. I think the thing is there needs to be, because last season in America where they had to do a murder in plain sight and they had to give her the cup. That was good because it was kind of like they could have got caught. They might not have been able to commit the murder, but it meant that there was an opportunity for people to find out. Otherwise, it's just people talking around a table who they think it could be.
But then all day in the castle and whatever, the traders do have to find time where they can kind of talk.
Like that's true.
Sneak away and talk together without being heard by other people.
That is true. That is true.
I feel like if there were any other tasks for the traders to do, it would be way too obvious.
Yeah, that's very true.
And the UK one is just so delicious and they get so into it and there's so much drama and it's just so well done. And then the US version, which is currently, I think in its 3rd season, it's all celebrities and whatever. Alan Cumming
I love Alan
is
Cumming.
the host and he is just, every single episode he's bringing the looks.
Yep. He's slamming pictures onto the floor.
Yes, he's such a queen and you can just tell that he loves doing it.
Yep. And his little dog.
Yes.
His little dog's there.
Traitors.
Traitors.
Oh, he's...
Will you be a faithful or a traitor?
traitor?
I love him.
So good. But my one qualm with the American celebrity seasons is they're not that well-versed in playing the game. So there's a lot of dumb decisions. Yeah. They're not kind of playing it properly. I think some of them maybe have never seen the show before and they're just learning as they go. So that's a bit frustrating to watch because the strategy side of everything gets a bit, you're kind of like, come on, guys. Like you kind of just want to jump through the TV and tell them how to play the game.
Spoiler alert for last season of American Traders. But when they got to the end and it was the 3 of them and then they shysted MJ and they were like, we don't think you're a faithful. And like they knew she was a faithful, but they just wanted to get rid of her so they could split the kitty.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, the traders are allowed to turn on each other.
Yeah, that's
which is always juicy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for some reason,
they just double-crossed her right at the end because they just wanted the kitty between the 2 of them.
But then also like with the American season, sometimes like the contestants will just like call someone a traitor because they annoy them. Yeah. And I'm like, no, you're not thinking about the actual game. You're just trying to vote out people who are pissing you off.
You need to keep your faithfuls in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
or like someone will vote for them. So they're like, well, I think you're a traitor. And I'm like, no, that's not how the game works.
Yeah. What would you want to be, a traitor or a faithful?
Traitor, 110%. I'm so upset that it's not
coming back to Australia.
I hope it does. Season 2 was so god awful, but season 1 was like top tier. It was great.
We watched season 2, I think, where it was just a mess and no one knew what they were doing.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Do you remember Sarah?
Yeah.
The psychologist.
Oh yeah.
Who can read people.
And she was just like, you're a traitor. And everyone's like, no, I'm not.
She had no original thought. She just, whatever the person next to her at the round table, whoever they would say, she'd be like, okay, I'll just say that.
Yeah. And then also she will never have a job again because she was like, I can read.
It doesn't look good on her resume.
And then all of a sudden she's like, I've actually got nothing for you.
It does not look good on her resume.
No.
So for anyone listening, if you haven't checked out The Traitors, and I love it because it's a reality show, but it's not tacky. It's not like fighting for the sake of fighting. It's not people just like being catty towards each other and women screaming at each other. It's similar to Survivor where it's strategy and gameplay and the reason why they're arguing and fighting is valid because that's how they play the game.
Yeah.
And it's like not personal. It's literally just to do with the game. So
I love it.
Oh, I just love it. I love it.
Is it werewolves?
Yes.
Oh, I want to do a werewolves night.
Come, we'll come, child. We'll have a werewolves night.
Yes, I want to have a werewolves night. I think that was so fun. I think I'd have to be a faithful because I don't think I could lie too much. I'd get caught and I'd be like,
or I'd be a traitor, and then when the time comes to get a faithful to become a traitor, I'd be like, I'm going to get Steph.
And I'm like, no.
Because she will put a target on herself and keep us.
I'd be an excellent, Patsy,
I would throw you to the wolves.
And I'd say, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm recruiting you because you're terrible at this game. I'd be like, fine. I think I would get.
Guys, I'm telling you, I'm a faithful. Oh, jeez.
I didn't mean to say that.
I've done it again. Good going, Steph.
Just unanimously, not one person says I'm a faithful. I'm like, God, I just
They don't even give a reason. They're just Steph.
Oh, dear.
So that's my recommendation. Traitors on, I think, 10 play, I want to say. But the current UK season that's on at the moment isn't on there yet. 10 play if you're listening. Channel 10 if you're listening. Please upload the current season of the UK. I am dying to watch it.
Yes. Very nice.
Now, what are you recommending?
All right. Well, this is very kind of a niche thing for Australians, but this is what I've been doing over my summer break whilst I take my dogs for walks in the evenings, summertime evening vibes. So
balmy summer walks.
Balmy walks. In Australia, we used to listen on Australia Day, which is no longer which is not something we should celebrate. But back in the day, we used to have something called the Triple J Hottest 100.
Oh, yes.
It was the countdown and it would play every Australia Day. And obviously they've moved the date because it's not a date.
Today now, isn't it?
Today is
today
the first
being a Saturday.
So it's the first. It usually falls on the Saturday and or Sunday that is around Australia Day now.
Yeah.
So I went back to the year that I graduated and I've been listening to every year and every countdown.
Perfect.
So there's a few things like when I stopped drinking, I couldn't listen to a few things because I would be like, oh, this is shame triggering. You'd listen to a song and you have a flashing of memory would come up and I'd be like, oh, I can't listen to it. It's too much. So I couldn't listen to some songs for a very long time, but now we're about to be 5 years in. So I'm feeling a bit better about everything. So I went back and I started listening.
23 days, everyone.
Woo!
Where's my trophy?
You know what? Props to you, snaps.
I'm not doing it for any particular reason. I've just been sick, girl. If I could have a glass of Chardonnay with some ice in it, I would have it with me right now.
Just clink. You just hear clinking in the next episode. So I started in 2008.
Great year.
Great year. The highlight year is 2011, not good.
Okay.
So you kind of go in and you're like, oh, I like all of this. And then all of a sudden 2011, which I thought would be a good year, not so good. Not for me.
Is 2011 when Macklemore
it might have been.
The Thrift Shop song was number one?
It might have been. There was also...
That's when I started to lose steam a little bit, I think. 2011, 2012 when I started to...
2011 was bad. 2012 was great.
Okay,
maybe it was late. Yeah, right.
So
2012 was the start of when all of the club music started to really come back in.
Presets and stuff.
And like Flume and
of course.
All that kind of stuff.
Maybe I'm thinking later.
Yeah, and then it kind of got to a point where I was like, okay, I've stopped listening to the years because I'm over it. But yeah, it's one as soon as you hear like the first, like what number one is, you kind of realize that you're like, oh yeah, that's that year. Like, and it's so good. I promise you.
And then it just like sparks memories of that year.
Yeah. So it's like a walk down memory lane. And then there's so many songs that you're like, I know every word to this and I do not remember. 2008, number one song was Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon.
Oh, yeah.
But Electric Feel was number two.
Yes. Oh, wow.
MGMT, what a time.
Wow.
And then 2009 was Mumford & Sons, Little Lion Man. But Parlez-vous Français, number two.
Was that 2009?
That was 2009.
Yeah, we went through a big banjo music phase, didn't we?
There was also a period of time where there was a lot of Aussie hip hop, less so as you go along.
It's like every time I go down the street, it's like...
I think
Bloodhound. No, wait, not Bloodhound Gang. What are they called?
Hilltop.
Bliss and Esso.
Hilltop Hoods.
Yeah.
2010, Big Jet Plane, Angus and Julia Stone.
The start of singing in cursive.
Yes, that really.
I hear you for a hint.
Yeah.
Pray.
You have $1.
Shout out to Lisa Mitchell.
2011, number one was Somebody That I Used to Know, which is a great song. The top few songs were great. So it was like Somebody That I Used to Know, but...
well then if this is... I was deeply listening to Triple J at this time.
Yeah, then it was like Lonely Boy, Brother, and then it kind of...
Wow. Oh, Matt Corby, Brother.
Brother.
What a song.
So, and then it was like Lana Del Rey. So 2011, the top spots, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
The rest of it, you go, we did nothing else.
Yeah, right.
Midnight City, like that song that just reminds me of Britain, but I don't know why. M83.
Yeah.
And then, you go into 2012, just really giving you all of the hits.
Yeah.
Then 2012, Thrift Shop.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we're starting.
I mean, you can't deny it. It was a hit.
It was Flume as well. Holding On, that was in the top. Breeze Blocks, Alt J.
Alt J. Oh my God.
Major Lazer, Get Free.
Yes.
Great year, 2012.
I'm getting chills. My nipples are hard.
2013.
Oh, I love this era of music.
Oh, it was so, 2013 was Riptide, Royals, Get Lucky, Arctic Monkeys, 50. I think this is where it starts to get a bit dicey for us and we go.
Well, because the Spotify era starts to kind of creep in and we start streaming music instead of listening to the radio. So we all kind of divert into different directions a little bit after then, I think. 2015 was kind of the last... I think 2015 might have been one of the last few that were actually on Australia Day too. I need to fact check. Right. But it was Hoops and Lean On, Tame Impala. And then I think we start to really get into things that I'm I stopped listening. And then that's the era when the music festivals started to die down as well.
I think there is an element of when you're listening to Triple J, you're supposed to be in your early, late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
You're supposed to grow out of it. You're supposed to grow out of listening to Triple J.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be for young people.
Because then you find your own stuff.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be for young people and it's supposed to be
It was very community vibes.
Yeah. This youth culture. Yeah. Whereas so I think... now I listen to Gold and Smooth FM because I'm I need something easy for my ears.
Bit of Robbie Williams.
Yeah, I don't want to rock DJ. But yeah, so I think that you're supposed to kind of grow out of it.
Yeah.
And have those core memories. But I think also not having that public holiday kind of vibe.
Because I couldn't tell you
one song
this year. I couldn't, I wouldn't even know who's playing on Triple J currently.
No, I guess we'll find out soon.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll report back. I'll tell you who number one is.
I wonder if I'll even know the number one song.
Guess
we will have to wait and see.
My recommendation, go back and listen to some of those
I'm going to do that today while I'm cleaning.
Yeah, and it's songs that pop up, not the top songs that you're I definitely remember this. It's the deep cut songs that you're I remember this and I totally forgot about you. I remember being at
a festival and dancing to this.
I remember going to Big Day Out or
Park Life.
So, yeah, it's a real trip down memory lane.
I'm so glad we got to experience all that kind of stuff before it died out.
It's gone now.
It is gone.
Like, someone needs to bring it back.
Yeah.
Because it was, remember like going to Big Day Out and seeing like Peaches.
We'd be like, oh, we have to go to this stage. We have to go to this stage.
You'd look
we
at
have
the
to go to this
timetable,
stage.
you'd plan everything out. Then you'd get
running.
drunk, and you'd be like, oh, what have I done? You'd see Peaches. Yeah. You'd see Peaches and then you'd run and see Lily Allen. And then all of a sudden you're watching Muse right at the end.
Literally. And I think my favorite act, just before we wrap up, my favorite act that I ever saw at Big Day Out would have to be The Prodigy.
Yes, I was there that year and I just remember being like, it was just insane.
Insanity. I was swinging my shirt around in a sea of sweaty men. So I was really in my element.
I was going to say, really in my element. Saturday night for you now, Joel.
What's new, Joel? I wonder why I'm always sick.
Just sweaty men grinding up against you.
Fire starter.
Oh, dear. Remember when, like, somebody that I used to know used to be everywhere?
Yeah, it was. People are like, oh, yeah, Gautier was like a one-hit wonder, but in Australia, like he had a few hits.
But that song,
Heart's a Mess, is a great song by him.
That is such a good song.
He had a few. But he can live off somebody that I used to know for the rest of his life. The royalties of that. Yeah.
I wonder what his net worth is.
Him and Kimbra.
I know. Kimbra, what happened to her? What's she doing?
Every day I'm walking in my dreams.
That's all. That started.
That's so you coded.
I know.
You were so Kimbra.
I know.
That was your style.
I was Kimbra.
You definitely were. It was your look was so Kimbra vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
When it came on when I was listening.
Yeah.
And I was like, I forgot you existed, but I was you.
Yeah. You really were.
So Kimbra, where are you now? What should I be doing now? I've lost the blueprint.
Oh my God, this intro's been going forever. We need to get into the episode.
Oh dear. Anyway.
But it's good because I'm steering the ship today, everyone.
Jump aboard.
Hold on to your hats.
Yo ho ho.
Guard your loins.
Ooh.
We're getting into it.
What are we going to talk about today?
So, I've got a very interesting story for you.
Ooh.
I don't know if you've heard about it or not. I certainly hadn't.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw it pop up and I'm like, oh God, this has framed written all over it.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Now it starts off a little dry. So I was getting the information and I'm like, I was getting bored, like getting the information. But then it takes a real left turn.
Ooh.
So please bear with me, soak in the information.
I am a sponge.
Yes. I don't know, grab a hot drink, grab a Milo.
Grab a Chardonnay with a couple of ice cubes in it.
Yes. So this is going to be the story of The Sleeping Lady with the Black Vase by Robert Bereny. Have you ever heard of this painting?
No.
Excellent. Okay, I love this.
Just going to plan.
So I'll start kind of giving a bit of a backstory to Robert. Robert Bereny, born 18th of March 1887, died 10th of September 1953. Was a Hungarian painter, one of the avant-garde group known as the Eight, who introduced Cubism and Expressionism to Hungarian art in the early 20th century before the First World War. Can you describe Cubism?
A lot of cubes.
Yep.
Lot of shapes.
Yep.
I feel like Cubism was the start of everyone being like, we don't have to make things look like they look like.
Yes.
We can make it look a little crazy.
Yes.
It's like this is a vase, but it's also a cube.
Yep.
This is a car, but it's also a cube.
We can create anything.
Yes.
And Expressionism, kind of same, cut from same cloth.
Bit more flowy,
yes.
I would say.
Now, I mentioned he was part of an avant-garde group known as the Eight.
Yes.
The Eight was an avant-garde art movement of Hungarian painters active mostly in Budapest from 1909 to 1918. They were connected to post-impressionism and radical movements in literature and music as well, and led to the rise of modernism in art culture.
It sounds like a Tarantino film. Like,
yes.
Well,
The
Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight.
But, right.
The members of the 8.
Yes.
Now, I can't pronounce their names, so let's call them Joey, Chandler, Rachel, Phoebe, Monica, Ross, Jerry, and Elaine.
All right.
There were a lot of in all their names, there are a lot of little things above the letters and stuff like that.
And you're just that E now is an A and I don't know.
They were primarily inspired by French painters and art movements including Paul Cézanne, Henri Matisse, and Fauvism. Have you heard of Fauvism before?
No.
Or Fauvism?
No.
Okay. Fauvism is a style of painting and an art movement that emerged in France at the beginning of the 20th century.
Yeah.
It involves strong, bold colours over more realistic style imagery and portraiture. So when you think Matisse and stuff like that, you've got kind of intricate, semi-realistic, things, but then really strong, bold colours.
Yeah, and it's almost what they would do is probably layer it. So we'd do a similar to this painting over here. You do a grey layer first, make it look real, and then the colours you use are different on the top.
Hella vibrant.
Yes, yes.
So they kind of started this movement in that particular part of the world.
Yeah.
In Hungary. So Robert had studied and exhibited in Paris as a young man and was also considered one of the Hungarian Fauves or Fauves. Numerous key galleries and museums, such as Poster House, don't know where that is, have featured Robert Bereni's work in the past. Have you heard of Poster House?
I feel like it's quite a famous little it's one of those ones where everyone shows to start with and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, every single person's shown here.
Yes. Gotcha.
But at the time they weren't known as that person.
Yeah. Robert Bereni's work has been offered at auction multiple times with realised prices ranging from... I don't know how actual this is, but this is the information that I sourced from the ranging from $4
Okay.
to $245,000 US.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense if you're not as well known. You're not
maybe, yeah.
Right? You're not getting the 1 point or the 14 point or the 16 point for the banana.
Or it might have been a
wall.
piece that just no one really wanted and someone was just like, $4.
That's the auction I want to be at. $4.
Depending on the size and the medium of the artwork.
Okay.
Since 2004, the record price for this artist at auction is $245,000 for his portrait of Leo Wiener, sold at the Kieselbach Gallery and Auction House in 2017. Now, I've got this picture on the iPad if you want to see Wiener's portrait.
I haven't seen a Wiener's portrait in a while.
Just literally a painting of a dick.
Okay with that. It's the old school dick pic. Yeah. Leo Wiener.
Yes, this is his highest sold piece.
It's he's looking very gaunt, isn't he?
Yeah, his style's hard to kind of put into a box.
Yeah.
It's semi-realistic, but then kind of distorted and warped.
It's if people at home wanted to imagine it, it's like a man laying down and it looks like he is unwell. Ding. And he's wearing a white shirt and grey pants, but he looks sickly.
He does look sickly. I will say I do like the colours of the skin tone. I think.
Oh yeah, the face.
He's really nailed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, it's might not be for everyone's taste.
You know what? $4, I'd take it, but $285,000, maybe not.
The internet says there's roughly around 244 artworks by Robert Bereni.
Good on you, Robert. You did quite a few.
Yeah, in his time. Now he asks, where is this going, Joel?
Yeah, where is this
possible direction could you be taking us? Is this just a regular art history episode? Well, I have a little story for you. Let's talk about The Sleeping Lady with the Black Vase, which is an oil painting by Robert Bereni. It is a depiction of the painter's wife reclining asleep in a blue dress behind a table on which is set a black vase.
There's a black
vase on a table next to a sleeping lady, and she'll be your next picture.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's having a little kip. Yeah. I see that. She's kind of on a couch.
So this is kind of, I guess, veering more into Cubism, Expressionism. I'm getting the vibe he likes to do a lot of people resting or looking like they're passed out.
They're all just passed out.
They are. Maybe they just got really bored just sitting for these portraits and just he might not have been the most fascinating man.
Something tells me maybe not.
Yeah.
But who knows? What are you about to tell me?
So Bereni is likely to have painted Sleeping Lady with Black Vase in 1927 to 1928, by which time he returned to Budapest in his native Hungary from Berlin, where he had fled following World War I. The painting was last seen in public in 1928 when it exhibited at the Ernst Museum before being sold.
Okay.
The buyer is likely to have been Jewish and left the country in the lead up to or during World War II.
Okay. So where is the painting now? It's in...
Well, just...
No. I mean, like, where is the painting in the story now? So it's the Jewish person who bought it?
Yes. He fled the country in the lead up to World War II.
Okay. Right.
Hungary was turbulent during this period and the painting was considered lost.
Okay.
So we can
we're
refer
in
back.
Hungary.
Yes, but we can refer back to our previous episode where after wars, revolutions and the tumultuous time of the 20th century, many Hungarian masterpieces are lost and scattered throughout the world.
We know this.
Yes.
Stuck in attics. Check your attics, people.
Yeah, so it was bought by a gentleman. Where its whereabouts was after that,
we don't know.
No one knows. There's no tracing, no anything like that.
Right.
We don't have much information on this gentleman who purchased it.
Right.
Because it was such a tumultuous time that he kind of probably went into hiding.
Yeah.
He would have, hidden his art pieces, all that kind of stuff, or it could have potentially been stolen.
Or he could have sold it for some quick coin.
Yeah, so that whole area is kind of like, we don't know.
Yeah.
The Sleeping Lady was considered missing until 2009.
Okay.
A researcher at Hungary's National Gallery in Budapest, his name, Gergely Barkey.
Gurgly Barky.
Well, it's Gergely. Gurgly?
You know what? We're going to just put a quick pause here. I'm going to go and find the pronunciation of that woman where it's like kind of AI and it's like Gurgly Barker.
Gergely. Look, I'm going to call him Gurgly. I'm going to call him Giggles.
Giggles.
Gergely Barkey sat down with his young daughter Lola to watch a movie on television.
Oh.
The movie they settled on was Sony Pictures' 1999 classic, Stuart Little.
Oh!
This starred Gina Davis,
Love her.
Hugh Laurie, and Michael J. Fox as the orphaned mouse that they chose to adopt over the many human orphans at the orphanage that they visited.
Like, can we think about the 90s really were a time for movies. It's like, you know what? Lots of kids here to adopt. I want that mouse.
I want the rat.
And
Give me that rat.
He'll grow up to be one of the best chefs in all of France. It's the origin story.
Give me that rat in Converse.
Give me that sassy
Put him
rat.
in a box. He'll be easy to take
You know
care
what?
of.
He's going to have an older brother and he won't mind. He'll be fine with it.
So, yeah, this gentleman at Hungary's National Gallery of Budapest sat down with his daughter.
Yeah.
The year's 1999. They're watching this kids' film together.
What a time.
He obviously knows a bit about art history as he's, a researcher at the gallery.
Yep.
Anywho, the Sleeping Lady, thought lost, was being used as a prop. No. In the affluent home of Stuart Little's adoptive family.
No.
How on earth did she get there?
How did she get there? What happened?
So Gurgly said, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw Bereni's long-lost masterpiece on the wall behind Hugh Laurie. I nearly dropped Lola from my lap.
Don't drop the baby.
A researcher can never take his eyes off the job, even when watching Christmas movies at home.
Oh. Is Stuart Little a Christmas movie?
I don't know, but maybe they watched it around Christmas time.
It's like the Die Hard of kids' films.
Yeah.
Not quite Christmas, but Christmas enough.
So here's how it happened.
Okay.
The painting disappeared in the 1920s, but Barkey recognised it immediately, even though he had only seen a faded black and white photo from an exhibition in 1928.
What a memory.
He sent a flurry of emails to staff at and filmmakers Sony Pictures and Columbia Pictures and received a reply from a former set designer on the film 2 years later.
Whoa.
She said the picture had been hanging on her wall, Barkey said. When production wrapped, the assistant bought the painting from the studio and hung it in her apartment. I had a chance to visit her and see the painting and tell her everything about the painter, said Barkey. She was very surprised. She snatched it up for next to nothing, $500 apparently, which isn't exactly next to nothing.
Better, more expensive than the $4 painting.
Yeah, in an antique shop in Pasadena, California.
Oh, how did it get to Pasadena?
Thinking its avant-garde elegance was perfect for Stuart Little's living room.
Stuart! You crazy rat.
Crazy rat. Little rat boy.
How'd you get the pants so small?
Thanks to Barkey's good work, this is Gurgly. Thanks to Barkey's good work and eagle eye and his daughter's excellent choice in films, the painting had since been repatriated.
Yep.
Have you heard that word before?
I believe it's when they bring it back home, right?
The anonymous film assistant sold the painting to an art collector who returned the painting to Hungary. It'll be auctioned off by Budapest Varag Judit Auction House on the 13th of December 2014.
Oh, okay.
With a starting price of $110,000.
Love this.
Because of the publicity generated by its unusual rediscovery, it has been described as the most widely known Hungarian painting.
Oh.
And I've got a picture of the painting in the Stuart Little film.
Oh,
and you can see her in the back.
And you know what? There's a tiny rat wearing a suit.
There's a tiny rat wearing a dinner jacket.
Wearing a dinner jacket, matching his brother.
Yes.
The human.
Jonathan Lipnicki.
Oh.
So that's my story. It's a quick one.
No,
but
I
just couldn't. It came. My assistant put it on my desk and I said, you know what? I got to bring this to the...
I've got to bring it to the table.
I got to bring it to the table. Missing art piece, Stuart Little.
Found.
What more could you want?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not really reports on how... There's a big gap between the man fleeing World War II to a girl finding this in Pasadena, California.
Well, I imagine, you grab your collectibles as you're leaving a war-torn country. You say, this will come with us.
I think it's just gone person to person to person to person, vintage shop to vintage shop to vintage shop.
And all of a sudden, it's in Stuart Little.
And then it's in the 1999 classic Stuart Little.
I love Stuart Little.
I know I've watched it, can't remember much about it.
I remember going to the video store and hiring the video and watching it as many times as I could in the 24-hour period that you got.
The family had a cat, and I thought that was a bit rude of them to, adopt Stuart Little into a house where they know that someone in that house wants to kill him.
And it's not the humans, which is generally the case.
No. We'll take the rat.
See all these starving children? We'd like the rat, please.
A rat just scurries past. Oh, we'll have that.
I like that one. It's also makes you go, yeah, having this, I guess, thing happen in pop culture, it makes a painting more famous, right?
Well, yeah, now it's the most recognised painting in Hungary, thanks to Stuart Little. Maybe they've got a little Stuart Little set up in the gallery that it is, like a little cardboard cutout of Stuart Little.
He's bringing it home.
Yeah. Stuart Little and Gina Davis.
And it's just got little facts.
Yeah.
This is another side topic. When we went to the Tabasco factory in America, it was very, in my mind, this is the vibe of, it was a Tabasco museum and there was just a video and it was times Tabasco has been shown in movies. And it just will be just an average scene and it will just zoom in on the condiment. So it'd be oh, it was in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, but it's just a casual scene and in the background.
It's in a little tiny red bottle.
So I highly recommend that. So I just imagine that's what's happening. It's just Stuart Little zooming in.
Yeah.
But yeah, fascinating. I love it.
If he didn't sit down to watch that film on that day with his young daughter.
You know what? We have Lola to thank for this.
Thank you, Lola.
Thank you, Lola. What a time. Lola.
That's my silly little story.
I love it. Yeah. Well, go and watch Stuart Little. Spot it.
Yeah.
And
see if you can find the lady with the black vase.
Yeah. She's having a nap.
She is.
Just like everyone else in his paintings in his life. Doesn't sound like the most interesting guy.
I had a look at like some of his paintings on like Google Images and whatever. I don't find it very consistent. Like he's one of those painters that doesn't have a set style. You don't look at a piece of his and go, oh, that's him.
Yeah.
It's more of he's just a good painter and he paints whatever he feels, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's no there's elements of like cubism and expressionism and all that kind of stuff in his work. But then there might be just like a really realistic portrait in there with like natural colors, natural light, all that kind of stuff. So
his point of view is just sleeping people.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joel. Thanks for bringing it to
light little story.
I loved it. Thanks for bringing it to the table. Thanks for bringing rats into our lives. 70
minutes of like introduction stuff and then 10 minutes of Stuart Little. And that's a Joel episode, baby.
I love it. Well, let us know. What do you think of Stuart Little? What do you think of...
Give us your reviews of the 1999 classic Stuart Little.
And we'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
You can find us on Instagram and the TikTok at Framed the Pod. Come say hi.
Come say hi. Check us out. Leave us a review, please. It helps. It means we can keep doing this. Also, like, if you come across anything that you think we can talk about, this, for instance, this story was sent to me by a friend.
And who was like, a tiny rat.
A tiny rat dropped it on my kitchen bench.
And said, do
it. No, a friend of mine, he was like, I just came across this.
Love it.
I feel like it'd be perfect for your pod.
Yeah.
I was like, absolutely.
So if you've got a story, write in. DM us.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.